Hey guys, Shane here, Flight Simmer. Welcome to another test drive video. Now, if you haven't seen one of these videos before, this is where we take a scenery, an aircraft, a utility, or an airport. We'll take them for a spin around the block in different types of flight simulators. I will give you my first impressions. Is it a value for money? Should you pick it up and buy it? So if you're interested in seeing videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so we can let you know when the next video is out. So in today's video, we are in sunny St Martins using the simulator of X-Plane 11. We're going to be checking out the newly released aircraft from TorqueSim, which is the BN-2 Islander. So it should be a real treat. So why don't we get into it? If you're not familiar with the BN-2 Islander, let's have a look at some fun facts that we researched off the internet, because the internet never lies. So the aircraft is a British light utility aircraft and also a regional airline. It's designed and originally manufactured by Britain Norman, and it's still in production today. First flight was on the 13th of June in 1965. It is still active and in presence. 1,280 plus of them have been built. Cost to buy one brand new is about $3 million plus. So taking a closer look at the exterior of the Islander, it is Vulcan ready, which is nice to see, and also it will work in previous versions of X-Plane 11. The aircraft or the package comes with 9 liveries. Obviously this one being Win Air, of course we had to go and take this bird for a flight and try to land it at the smallest commercial runway in the world, which is Saba. That's what we're going to do. But the 3D modeling of the aircraft and also the 4K texturing is done really well. TorqueSim, you've made a really good rendition of this aircraft, because I've gone and done a bit of research and looked at a lot of different photos, and the Islander has been one of my favorite GA aircraft for a long time. You guys have done a superb job. Some additions to discuss on the exterior is that the texture is all done by PBR. There is a bump mapping, so this aircraft, obviously, it can be an old aircraft, so the bump mapping has been done really well. The aircraft also is persistence, and it comes with a load manager, which I'll go through that in a little bit of detail when we get into the cockpit. You've got all sorts of static exterior things like as chocks and engine covers and all that sort of stuff, which can be removed. As you can see, we are displaying these here. So we've been saying that, let's jump into the cockpit and have a quick look at the load manager. Welcome to the cockpit of the Islander, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to access the menu for the aircraft, you can do so by the left-hand side. It has a pop-up there. Some of the things you can do in here is remove your static elements, which we are doing here. You can turn on anti-ice or the anti-ice equipment. You can change your load by doing your fuel, and also you can add and remove your passengers. So not does it do it virtually, but it will physically take them out of the aircraft by the weight. So we're going to remove everybody today. The passengers are quite good detail, and they're all rocking the Bose headsets, but we will remove them for this flight because we are flying to Saba. As we jump back into the pilot seat and get the Islander ready for engine start, the aircraft has a custom systems, such including an electrical system which simulates the circuit breakers, buses, generators, and batteries, and also has a custom fuel manager. Avionics suite that comes with this aircraft is the KFC 225 autopilot, the GTX 345 transponder, the XR887 ADF, and the M800 chronometer. We are ready for taxi. We're going to make our way down to our runway hold position. But before we do that, a couple of things to mention. We are running X-Plane 11 Vulcan, so 11.5. I think this is a hotfix version 4. We are using the Islander version 1.01. So this was the hotfix update, which fixed a couple of things such as the Fmod sounds and those sorts of things. But this was a pretty solid aircraft on release anyway. runway. So as to mention just before, this aircraft does have high fidelity FMOD sounds pack, which has been recorded from the real aircraft. But when it comes to handling, this would have to be my favorite aircraft, or GA aircraft, for a long time in X-Plane 11, of how it actually handles. So it taxis very well. But we're going to throw it into a montage and come back to you as we are ready for takeoff. We are ready and configured for takeoff. Basically, we are going to do a half circuit and depart to Sabah on a mid-crosswind leg from St. Martin. So please enjoy the takeoff, and I'll come back to you as we're hand flying this circuit in the TorqueSim BN-2 Islander. As you can see, this aircraft is very capable of doing short field takeoffs and also short field landings. So we're going to make a left-hand turn here. We're going to fly it by hand just to show you it is a very comfortable and very stable aircraft to fly around, as we take some views of St. Martin's as we depart on our way to Sabah. So some things to mention about the flight characteristics for the Islander. The team at TorqueSim did mention that the aircraft has been carefully tuned and tested for the flight model to be based on real life performance data, and it also has had some input by actual real world Islander pilots. TorqueSim have also mentioned that they are planning to provide a long-term support with this aircraft, which is absolutely fantastic. They're also going to add some additional features and updates to be planned. One of those, which I'm really excited about because I do use this a lot, which will be Reality XP support. So absolutely fantastic. So we're flying over our mid-crosswind leg over here at St. Martin's. We're going to climb to an altitude of 5,000 feet, and then we're going to set the autopilot. So I'm going to throw it into a montage and come back to you when we're at cruise, as we set the yaw dampener on and the autopilot, and then we will take a more detailed look at the cockpit of the BN-2 Islander from TorqueSim. Welcome back to the cockpit of the Islander. Some things I didn't mention before: it's using the default GPS for X-Plane, which is the 530 and the 430, but they work fine, so there is no problem there. As you can see, there is reflections built into all the instruments, and everything is in a very high detail condition. I will have to say that the lighting in the cockpit and outside the aircraft at night is pretty poor from what I found, and I didn't really shoot any footage on it because it just didn't look that great. Other than that, the cockpit looks fantastic in the day. We have skipped to the approach end of this flight, so we're making our turn to finals for Sabah, which is the shortest commercial runway in the world as far as I know. So we have a crosswind landing. The wind is going from left to right, so we should see what happens and how the BN-2 Islander performs in those sorts of conditions, being a short runway and having a crosswind. So we will try to do our best. So I'm going to be quiet now. Please enjoy the landing into Sabah. Wow. I think once we park the aircraft, we need to do a bit of a walk around to see if we damage the gear in that one. So, but within saying that is doing a crosswind landing like that, you really get to see how the aircraft reacts using the rudder. And I tell you what, it is pretty true to real life that aircraft that are flown in real life with how the rudder works, and you need to have your feet on the pedals. So within saying that, this aircraft works in VR. So we're going to do the same approach again in VR, and then I'll come back to you with my final thoughts. So you can pick up the Islander over at the X Aviation store for $39.95 US. I think it worked out to be about 62 Australian dollars, yes, our currency. We get robbed when it comes to international purchases. I probably thought it was maybe $10 Australian or $5 US, a little bit overpriced. But within saying this, this is a complete package. It's not a beta, which you get many of those things sort of out there. This is a full package. It's got a hot fix, and I don't really see any problems with this aircraft. So straight out of the box, it works great. So if you're in the market for a high detailed, very versatile GA twin engine aircraft that pretty much can get you to fly in and out anywhere, this is definitely worth taking a look at. And yeah, I would actually recommend the Islander BN-2 from TorqueSim. So if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. It really helps out the video. And if you like this sort of content, hit that subscribe button for more weekly videos, either on reviews and first looks like this one, or if you want to stay up with the latest Microsoft Flight Simulator news and insights, hit that subscribe button. So thank you very much. I'm going to leave one of my other favorite videos up here, and I will see you over at that one.